welcome to the annual TaSTA podcast, where biannual, where we do it twice a year. How is everyone? How are you, Spud?
Not too bad, yourself.
At least you can answer. If I ask how is everyone, they'll just play along at home. Oh, right,
just tumbleweed.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Tumbleweed, you know? Tumbleweed. That's all.
It's we should just actually email the podcast to the people who actually listen to it, because I think I could name them at this point. Do you want? We can email it to you. There's no problem. Yeah. That's strictly not fair to say that no one listens to us, because there is a strong, steady couple of hundred people that listen to this, which is quite flattering, to be honest.
Quite flattering, because all we do is talk nonsense, really. You know?
Every now and again, and then constantly make it harder for people to listen to it by changing channels and changing the glad that you were. Yeah, our thoughts on life, all these things. Yeah. So how's Poland? What's going on in Poland?
God, I don't know. We don't have a government. That's all I know. Because the president. So the goodies won. Well, the less bad baddies won.
That's the best we can have in this in this world at the minute.
And the recent election, but they have this funny law where I suppose it makes sense actually. The president says, right, well, the government, the party who won the most seats can have an election. So technically, the party who won the most seats can't form a government because they didn't win enough to have a majority. But no one wants to make a coalition with him. So he says, well, you still have a month anyway because something might happen. And everyone is going, you fucking arsehole. So basically, they're just very busy now in all government buildings. There's been a massive increase in the price of paper shredders. And I can't connect the two of them.
Why would that be happening?
I have no idea. No. There's a lot of smoke as well. People burning stuff in barrels outside of government buildings.
So it's exactly the same thing that's going to happen when Sinn Féin get into office in Ireland, where they won't have enough for a majority and no one will go in coalition with them. It's exactly the same, really. Yeah.
Very right. Yanks will get this. A famous Irish person died there during the week. It's called Ben Dunn, right?
Oh, yeah, that's so funny.
And
it's not funny at all. It's horrifying.
Well, Ben Dunn was part of. There's a big chain of what are they called? Department stores in Ireland called Dunn Stores, and it's basically it's like a
Walmart type of thing, I suppose, is it?
Yeah, it's a shop, groceries, but also clothes and stuff, right?
And toys
and department stores, isn't that what they call it in America? Store, yeah. I haven't a fucking clue the proper name we call them, but anyway. So he was one of the family, and the IRA kidnapped him and held him for ransom and stuff, which is what they used to do for the crack, like to raise money and whatnot for guns and drugs. And so during the week he died, there was some controversy about him as well, something to do with a sex tape or sex party or something. And then he went off and he looked fairly buff in the video, I think. So then he went off and set up a chain of gyms, which is fucking hilarious.
Right.
But then, so he died the other day. And Sinn Féin is the political party of the IRA, kind of allegedly.
Allegedly. And, well, I mean, they're kind of openly about that. Yeah.
So the leader, Mary Lou McDonald, put out a tweet saying, deepest regrets, and we feel sorry for the family of Ben Dunn. And like people are just replying to her saying, you fucking kidnapped him. You fucking literally kidnapped him years ago, you know? Fucking crazy, you know? Well, maybe it's reverse Stockholm syndrome, maybe. You know,
do you wonder, did she assume that no one would remember, no one would put it together, or is it just
she didn't know? She that's the way the IRA works. Like a lot of people don't really know because it's all cell work, isn't it? So like,
I know, but it was on the news.
Well, I know that. Well, of course you know, yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. Well, maybe the people in the cells don't know. You can't watch the news. You can't know what's going on. But I know what I mean. Wonder would she have seen that more as putting up we've changed type of a tweet rather than willful ignorance of the past?
Plus, they don't really kidnap people anymore, do they?
Well, that we hear about. Who knows what's going on in the upper echelons of society?
The kangaroo court stuff is kind of mad. Wasn't there one up around your way? The girl, there was a woman. She was sexually molested by
20
an
or 30
or
years of it. Yeah, there was loads of it. Yeah, there was maybe I shouldn't tell any connection names, but there's someone who I was friends with, whose dad got shot in front of him in the front room, like about a couple of hours after I was talking to him. So,
Christ.
Yeah. It was very strange. It's very strange. Like people, I suppose in Ireland, when you lived in a border county, particularly Dundalk, It was a very different experience during the Troubles, I suppose. Then it was further south, maybe not. Like Dublin probably had the scare as well, but it was like there was a constant threat of both, like from both sides in a sense. You had to be a good boy for both things. And particularly because my family were also from Northern Ireland. I spent a lot of time in Northern Ireland, and it's like my cousin who listens, hello John, he used to work in a petrol station or whatever, and he went home, whatever, I think this is the story, and it got blown up. So, and that was just whatever 5 minutes from where my nana lived, like, so.
That's mad.
And all the soldiers and helicopters, you'd walk down the street, and there'd be, I'm constantly interrupting you, I'm as rude as a badger, but there'd be like a soldier in the hedge, and you go, fuck me.
Jesus. Fucking nuts, huh? Yeah. I worked in a pub years ago that had bouncers, and they are all in the INLA, which isn't the IRA, it's the more communist version of the IRA, because the IRA are Marxist. Yeah. And Sinn Féin are trying to get away from Marxism, but they were a Marxist organization.
Thing is that I wasn't fully, I thought it was more a Catholic.
And then the INLA are even more Marxist, like they're proper communist kind of thing. They want everything run in co-ops and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I
think the INLA had a big kind of faction in Dundalk as well, and like years later after Good Friday Agreement and all that, anyone who got shot in Dundalk, it was them rather than there was a very famous guy, young enough guy who owned a pub who got shot by them on the street in Dundalk. Yeah, come to Ireland, full of leprechauns, castles, cool. Fairies.
I know a drug dealer that I never bought anything from. And they used to come knocking on his door for extortion money.
Oh yeah,
and he'd just be, nah, fuck off. He just kept telling him to fuck off until eventually he stopped telling him to fuck off. No, I don't know what happened to him, to be honest. He's still alive anyway, I know that.
Yeah. He's only got one arm and half a foot. But
every time Finglas comes up on the news for a shooting, I'm like, fuck. I hope it's not someone I know, because it could well be. Anyway, changing the topic. I've been watching Brassic lately. Have you seen Brassic?
I don't think so. What's Brassic?
Jesus, Brassic's really good. Do you remember the vampire in Preacher? He plays the Irish vampire.
Yes.
He's the main character in it, and it's about these. It's basically the in-betweeners, but with drugs.
Oh right,
and,
okay. British Channel 4 thing.
Hilarious. I think it's made by Sky. I think.
Oh right, okay.
But it's really funny. There's like 5 seasons of it, and it's hilarious.
Okay. I'm sure when I see it, I go, that thing that I've seen 20 million ads for that I've never watched.
Yeah. There's do you remember in the Commitments, one of the backup singers is in it, and she plays an Irish traveller, and she has the accent down to a T, and she's fucking hilarious.
I'm pretty certain I know who that actor is, just given by that she would be good at doing something like that. So.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Yeah. So
I've been watching Foundation, the Isaac Asimov Apple TV thing. It's very, very good. It's I've never read the book. It's one of those books that you probably should have read when you were a teenager, and probably you're not going to read it in your 40s. I was going to say that many people read Lord of the Rings when they're in their 40s, probably do. But it's one of those books that I suspect you should have read in your formative years.
Okay.
Same as Dune or any of these, kind of
Necromancer's another one. Like if you try and read Necromancer now, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, even by the time I read it,
because it's been copied so much.
Yeah, even I read it when I was about 20, and it was even by then, it was like kind of, still very good. Still should read it. Same as like watching The Matrix. Now you go, that's like, oh God, this is so, it's so cliched. It goes, well, it wasn't what it came out though. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. Even Peter Kingsley was talking about.
What are we at?
10 minutes. 10 minutes already.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tells a load of lies, doesn't he? He says, I was in the cinema, and I just looked around, and I seen the profound look upon the people's faces that they thought for a moment that this could be the... You did not do that. You didn't do that. Stop lying to people.
And then Andy immediately went back to their sleepy selves, or whatever it is he says.
And birds. Without birds, seeds wouldn't grow. Like, that's just not true. I mean, I know this from experience. I have taken seeds, I have put them in the fridge with a little bit of soil in the bottom shelf. And you leave them for a couple of weeks, and they sprout. Yeah. There's no birds. There's no bird. Yeah, actually, no, sorry, I lied. I put a bird in. I put a fucking crow in the fridge.
It was actually Brandon Lee. That's the real reason he died. Yeah. Anyway, the devil himself told us that wasn't true. So there you go.
It's not fair. I really like Peter Kingsley, but I don't know why he lies. You know?
Oh God, it's like I don't know. I like when I was
there's a difference between bullshitting and lying. Like I know I bullshit. I know you bullshit. We all bullshit. That's different. But then there's lying, and bullshit is just salt and pepper. You know what I mean? It's just exaggeration,
augmenting, telling the story in a more interesting way,
poetic license.
Yeah,
you know. But then there's lying. You know,
I don't know.
Birds make seeds grow. No, they don't. They just don't. Like,
where is it exactly? He says that. It's in the talks or in the books. I can't remember. They're all kind of mangled into one.
I heard it in one of the talks anyway.
Yeah.
But then, like, you hear other people saying it as well. It's like, no, like, don't. Like, I know where you got that from, and it's not true. You know.
Where's it from? Where
does he get it? Kingsley get it from? Yeah. I have no idea.
No, just you said you've heard it in other places. That you're like, well, what is the?
No. Other people that would listen to him.
Right. I thought you said other sources, and I was going, oh, right, other sources of some sort of common background to this.
Actually, no. You know what? I think Kingsley got it from Steiner. Rudolf Steiner, I think. And sure, he was like, I like Steiner, but like some of his stuff is wow, you know. Yeah,
it is out there. But farming stuff seems to work, even though it is out there. 17 stars to the left when the moon is seen on the horizon. Then 16
biodynamic stuff, isn't it?
Add 16 bees, and there's your porridge. Oh right, yeah, it's lovely.
There was a scene in Succession? You were watching Succession, weren't you?
I did. I watched a bit of it, and then Vanessa watched. I let her watch it. I wasn't.
There was a scene where Tom Wansberg and the wife, the Australian girl, I don't remember her name. They buy this biodynamic wine, and
all right,
yeah. It's not
good, is it?
No, I didn't like it. No,
that documentary we watched years and years ago was The Problem of Rudolf Steiner, and it was showing the different farming things. They claimed it worked fairly well, but they were like going, like, it's mad, right? It is mad, but
it works.
Here it is.
That's fair enough. Yeah. You know, don't mind stuff for that. So how's you been at lately, man?
What have you been at recently?
Magically.
It's kind of. There's a question that comes up. We got put out some questions later on, and it's maybe just do that question because
it'll tie in.
Yeah, well, not necessarily all the questions, but this question. Can people? This is from Beth Wells. Can people get woo fatigue, like a disenchantment, with all the essential dystopian bullshit that's going on in the world? How do you keep your magical pecker up? That's a great question. That's brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
It's interesting timing because Gordon of the Rune Sips put out a blog post this morning that I read first thing in the morning, which I shouldn't have, because you should fill your heart with joy first thing in the morning.
Start your day like that.
start your day with Gordon, and it can only, you've looked after yourself. You can do what you want after.
Yeah, well, it's like people who listen to the news first thing in the morning. Still, why? Well, don't do that to yourself.
We used to wake up to Vanessa would have Ian Dempsey on as he's an Irish DJ he's like one of the most famous DJs, I suppose. He used to be a children's TV presenter. Very fond. People are very fond of him, but it would come on, and then instantly the news would come on, and so you get 5 minutes of people telling you the worst thing in the world. And I was going, why am I so sad and depressed?
And it's all stuff that happened yesterday as well.
Yes.
Like it's
or might happen tomorrow, or whatever. It's like, so I had to give that. But after about 3 years of that, I decided maybe that's not the best thing to do. But and then I used to wake up and I'd check Reddit and I go, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? What am I doing to myself?
Did I get any karma? Please.
What's Reddit's hot take today on why the world is ending? And why the Conservatives are the worst people in the world? Well, I mean, they may have a case, but it's like 7:30 in the morning. So Gordon put out the thing just saying, well, which is worse? Like, not talking about the constant, things that are going on in the world, or constantly talking about it. It's a good question. What do you do? He's then goes into full kind of, woe was me, I suppose.
Well, I mean, it's a very interesting time we're living in because, anyone with a heart and a soul and a bit of compassion supports Palestine, but no one is allowed to say that.
Oh well, every Irish person is, so that.
Yeah, Ireland's a bit of an outlier though. But Ireland's just pissed off over the stolen passports. That's what it goes back to.
What's that? Is it? I don't know that story. I thought we were just awesome.
When Mossad carry out assassinations on foreign soil, they
They use Irish passports.
They tend to use quite a lot of Irish passports,
Yes.
because the Irish passport is very valuable.
Oh.
And you can get into pretty much all countries without a visa with the Irish passport.
Oh, indeed.
It's I think it's like the third ranked best passport in the world or something.
Nice. Must sell mine. Make a few
Irish. Well, a couple of Israeli lads will buy it off you anyway.
yeah. Might end up in prison. Yeah. Caught up in some sort of political situation I might not want to be a part of.
And so the story is like Ireland's gone after Israel a few times over it. And Israel's like, no, we don't know what you're talking about. And like, no, like, we have proof here. We know, like, there's the bio... They're tracked passports, so we know that Irish citizens, and there's no Irish citizens doing this fucking shit, you know what I mean? So, like, what's going on? And then Israel just goes, yeah, no, talk to America.
Yeah, which is, that's how it works.
Okay. Yeah, Ireland can't do anything then, you know?
And, yeah, it's a very strange whole situation. I don't know what to make, but I mean, I think people seem not to be able to make a distinction between three factors that are going on there, like Israel, Hamas, and Palestine. There's three things. Yeah. That's two things.
I mean, you don't have to, I mean, you're not, if you support Palestine, you're not anti-Jew, you know what I mean?
No, you're not pro-Hamas either.
Oh, God, no.
No.
They're awful fuckers.
Yeah, awful people.
They have their headquarters in hospitals. What the fuck kind of evil shit is that like? You know?
And the leaders are in Iran anyway, aren't they? Living it up. Supposedly, allegedly.
Here, get back to the question there.
Yeah, anyway, so it said, why did we become disenchanted with the world? So it's just that's kind of, I suppose, because you were asking the questions like, what am I doing spiritually, emotionally, mentally, creatively? And it's like, there's kind of a point where it's like, I have certainly been disenchanted by the woo before. And it's usually when I think I get involved with something like a theory or a book or a group or a person. I think, this is it. And then you go through it, go, damn it, it's not. Damn it. And you kind of go, oh, for God's sake. So and then there can be kind of a crestfallen thing with that, certainly. And I have had that before, whereas I'm a bit disenchanted in a different kind of way at the minute. It's that I don't feel really bad about it. It's kind of, because I've been looking around and I've been reading a lot of kind of stuff by David Bett and kind of that sort of surrounding kind of a lark. And then you can kind of go, well, what's next? What do you do next? And then you go to the website and it's go, well, you can join this initiatic order. And I go, oh, fuck's sake. Really? Is that it? Is that my options here? And I'm sure it's brilliant, but I know where it ends. I know what happens now. So, and I'm sure that it's a perfectly fine initiatic order. I'm not in any way casting aspersions on, I don't know anything about it other than that. But so I'm disenchanting that, and I'm kind of going, the initial kind of buzz that you had when you started, like when you read Stealing the Fire, the Stephen Mace thing, or then you get into Baptist Head stuff and whatever, and it's like, oh, fucking hell, this is it, this whole thing or whatever. There's a kind of I've come to the other side of that where, not that I'm disillusioned, I'm just no longer illusioned by it. So there's no, it's not, not them in particular. It's not any, it could be anything. You could be Palermo, anything. It's not, I'm just pointing it at the stuff that happened in our directory. And it's kind of that. So it's like, oh, right, well, what is the thing? And I can really feel and I can really notice myself wanting that kind of, almost, I'm not quite sure if it's an ego satisfaction, but of course it is, because it all is, of wanting the buzz of that, to be on the inside, or to find the secret knowledge, to know the thing, to have this, I suppose in one sense, advantage over the rest of the world or something, whatever that drive is. And it's kind of, and just kind of going, yeah, but that's not it. That thing, that drive, that the thing is why you end up being in the place that you don't want to be.
I think the answer to it is the Carl Jung thing of like, I think I told it to you the last time we did a podcast about him being frustrated at the end of his life, comparing himself to his grandfather who had a school for disabled kids. Do you remember?
Yeah. And that's what all the students, that's what Yeah,
and because he was trying to get across to them, no, like, you don't have to do what I did to get to here. It's that you need to find your own thing. And so this is kind of what you're saying to me, kind of reminds me of that, is that like, cool, yeah, like you can follow all these people and pay your dues and sign up and, sign away your bank accounts and swap your wives or whatever. But it's like basically all you're doing, you're only following. You know what I mean? And for individuation, for awakening, for enlightenment, whatever fucking name you want to call it, Christ consciousness, it's your own thing. You have to plow your own furrow.
Isn't it funny though?
Absolutely, I'm 100% convinced of that. Is that like you can follow people and learn as much as you can off them, but you're the one who still has to do your own stuff, because like we're all individuals, which is a bit confusing when you talk about the ego death and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is that like, you know, say for example, like my ego death can't be the same as your ego death, because we have different experiences and desires inherent in us thanks to our experiences in life anyway. So like if I do exactly what, I don't know, give me someone kind of contemporary, Osho.
Yeah.
No, people don't like him, do they?
People don't like him either.
Who's someone decent that you could...
Yogananda. People mostly like him. Yeah.
So say if you were to follow exactly Yogananda's fucking
Kira Yoga
map, step by step, you wouldn't have the same experiences, and you wouldn't land at the same place, or you wouldn't have similar experiences at the same time, because you're following a map, and the map isn't the fucking territory.
Yeah, so exactly. Yeah.
You have to come to realize, right, this stuff is all brilliant, and I know lots now, but I still have to do this myself.
Yeah,
you know.
I agree with that, and I'd further it in saying I don't think we're all having the same experience anyway. That you would be able to.
No two people are going to have it.
Become very aware of that. That you know, and one of the things that was kind of, apart from when I realised that what I was calling, say, magic, other people were calling magic something else, and I was going, well, hold on. Then I'm feeling wrong because I'm not fitting in with what other people think it is, and I go, but I'm also equally wrong to then demand that what I think magic is, you should think. And I go, well, and I think we might be having a different experience. And I remember then going on to TikTok as a cool grandfather.
Words I never thought I'd hear coming out of your mouth. Then I went on to TikTok.
Yeah, and it was like, for whatever reason, the very first time, because I go, all right, he's a male, send him loads of half-naked women and he'll be grand. I go, no, I'm not into that. Well, I'm into that, but I know I'm not for TikTok. And then, so there was all neurodivergent stuff, whatever. And I found it very interesting, and where everyone kind of thinks they're neurodivergent on TikTok, everyone, at least in this particular algorithmic feed. But it was interesting listening to it, because you could go, well, the people are having a different experience, and some of the stuff that the people are talking about is neurodivergent. Well, I certainly feel like that, but I don't feel like that. So I'm and of course this is a spectrum, whatever. But not to say that I think I'm neurodivergent, but it's just like, even down to simple things like that, we're all having completely different experiences of everything, and then to kind of think that.
As you said that, your camera suddenly went full HD. That's mad.
Oh, well, you see, now we're breaking through to the other side. Or to think that my cousin or my nephews with autism could have the same experience of a spiritual awakening that I could. Bullshit. Can't. It's not. Yeah. And could have a much better one or a much worse one. It's not even anything to do with level. It's different. Yeah. It's a very different experience. And even then, to come back, because I meant this, because I remember you saying it to me the last time about the Carl Jung thing and the story, even down to that actual story, how that's told. You're saying that it's Carl Jung saying that, oh no, it's follow everyone else. If you listen to Peter Kingsley talking about that story in Catafalque, and he has the complete opposite conclusion from that, where Carl Jung got completely annoyed because no one understood what he was saying or believed him, and everyone else just took the teaching and completely turned it upside down. So he comes to the complete opposite conclusion of the same thing.
So the problem with that is that didn't happen, because like the who came next after Jung? Hillman, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hillman.
There was another one as well. There was two of his main. Like, they didn't turn it upside down. They had his teaching spot on, like, and even added stuff to it in their own books.
Yeah, but they're seen as counter-initiative, or counter-initiatives.
Yeah, no, that's nonsense. I'm not buying it at all.
Yeah. But most of, say, Patrick Harper stuff, he's more into James Hillman than he is Carl Jung, like that kind of trajectory or stuff like that. But it's just like, because then when people, like, you have conversation with people and they're going, oh, this is it, and there's this kind of, there's like a necessity for me, and I understand it because I had it for a long, long while. It's only new for me not to have it, that I have to convince you of my UPG because then I'm allowed to believe it. You know what I mean? Because I can't just be me because I'm not my own. I don't have authority on that. So if I can get you to convince you of this, then there's truth in it. So that's why I think a lot of people kind of express their eulogy in a demanding kind of way, because it then validates your own kind of thing. Then coming across the stuff in Theosophy where it's saying like there's 7 rays, and just taking it as a metaphor, like not as there's 7 actual things, but that there's at least 7 different ways people are experiencing the world. Very different ways. Like one is
what's this to do with the planetary powers, like, or
no? Everything is 7 in Theosophy. But I mean, you can definitely do a correlation, a correspondence if you want. But it's like some people are on Ray 4, which is like beauty, creativity, art, and to see everything through this one. One is a bit, like kind of a bit like the bold through, the leaders. They don't, it's this kind of, that's how to see the world and whatever. And each of them are correct. Each of them are fine. But for one to tell the other Ray that this is how you should do it, this is what life is, this is what experience is, this is what the world is, this is what creation is. It's not for the other person. No. But they're both true. And it's kind of, going back to what you're saying, the map is not the territory. But I'm not even sure the territory is the territory for each person. I think it's a different territory.
No, you're probably right, because me and you can walk on the same mountain together, holding hands the whole way up, and we'll have a different experience doing it,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Tommy has sweaty hands.
Spud has sweet smelling hands. I don't know. What's the counter to that? Yeah.
Spud smells of Benji.
Spud has big sausage finger hands.
King Charles.
It's like, but what do you do with that? Because it comes back then to like, well, there's no heroes, no fucking gurus, no masters, no nothing, because the only thing is, well, you have your own, your own intuition.
That's
whatever.
It, man. I'd like to bring some anarchy to the world of enlightenment.
Yeah.
I would, but anarchy in the true sense of no kings, no leaders.
But like the actual definition of anarchy.
Actual anarchy, not like going crazy in the streets and stuff like that, but like just anarchy, the natural order of things.
So to actually answer the question, the disenchantment or the fatigue or whatever, I'm fatigued in that way, but it's in a good way, because it's kind of like saying, all right, stop that. Like you're seeing the patterns. I'm right. I know what happens when I do this. And I'm still gravitating towards it because there's some sort of, there's a nice little prize. I might win something at it. I might have something shiny that I can.
Actually, look, Tommy, it's the classic problem of every Irish male. Like, we're all looking for our father's approval because none of our fathers fucking cared about us.
Yeah,
so that's it. But that's been Irish life for been Irish life for generations. Just I wouldn't say stoic fathers, but dads. But it's just the whole island. It's people who aren't in touch with their feelings.
Yeah, it's not stoicism.
No, it's definitely not stoicism. It's bottling up and ignoring emotions. And even there's a new popular football podcast. Gary Lineker's on it. I'm sure you know the name, Alan Shearer, and they had Thierry Henry on it. Yeah. Who I presume you would know as one of the greatest strikers of all time.
And he used his hand to score a goal.
Yeah. Screwed over Ireland.
I'm aware of him.
And he nearly broke down. Like it's a very light-hearted podcast for the most part. They do get quite analytical with football stuff as well from the odd time, but it's quite good. Like these lads have been on television for years and years and years. They're pros, like
professional. Yeah.
But like they asked Thierry Henry, like, what drove you to want to be such a good player, and instantly he nearly broke down. He was like, I always wanted the approval of my father, and that was it. Just as simple. He just said it as simple as that, and he said, I never got. Like, he was so good, and like for him. Yeah. And you're just like, well, then I have no fucking hope, do I? This is something I notice in myself. This is why I really like sports documentaries, because I'm always fascinated by the drive that, God, I don't know, what's his name? The Red Bull driver, Jens Verstappen. What fucking drives him always to want to win and always be the best, Because, like, I don't know, I've never had that. I've never wanted to be the best at that. Like, I've wanted to be good at stuff, but to be the best just doesn't interest me, because I'm like, nah, them people would just be annoying you.
You see, I have the thing of wanting to be the best, but it's because I think not being the best means you get discounted. And that's because how do I get into this? That's because I was in a situation which involved not getting the attention unless I was the best.
Okay.
In possibly a family situation.
Because you're the second born, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
So it's like if you're not, you can be good and it doesn't matter. You know, you have to be the best. And so
you have to be better than her.
To get attention. Yeah.
Basically. That's shit. But like I remember like growing up and getting into music and all that stuff, and I'd be looking at, you know, I'd see the rhythm guitar player or the bass player and I'd be like, that's a fucking cool job.
Yeah.
And then the fucking Slash is there. Where are they? I'm like, fuck, who wants that? Who wants that? No, I don't want that shit. No,
who wants to have to learn all those skills?
I want to be in the background, earning 3/4 of the money and be left alone. And I'll just pick up the sloppy seconds of the groupies. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So Dave Navarro from Jane's Addiction, he was saying that exactly that. He says he loved, you know, he's an introverted extrovert. Of course, he's an extrovert in the sense of he can get on stage, but he has he's an introverted extrovert. And he was saying that, you know, he loved to come out doing his guitar solo and fucking back into the lights. And then when he did a solo album, he had to come out and sing, and he was on like the Tonight Show, whatever it was. He's going, I hated it. What you want is some egomaniac extrovert going out there loving being the front of attention. And I'll sit back here with my delay pedal. Twiddling away, enjoying it, getting all the women, the drugs, the money, all that. Yeah, I get that. But he also took a lot of heroin, so there's obviously other problems there.
I've been thinking about doing heroin lately, all right, just with the weight loss.
Why not?
You know what I mean? Because
it's not coke, the big weight loss one. Well, heroin's the death one.
No,
really.
But there's something. Who was telling me? I remember years ago I did an interview with Jung Cooper Clarke, and he told me the reason. Name dropping there. No one even knows who he is, really. A couple of the English, British lads listening will know. He was saying that there is a reason why junkies never even become fat in old age. Something to do with how it does
up your liver or whatever.
Yeah, it fucks up your system kind of thing and whatever. But I
was watching the Robbie Williams documentary, the 4-part thing. Oh well, I liked Robbie Williams back in the day. I thought he was an interesting. I really like Guy Chambers, the guy the songwriter producer guy. So,
all right.
Strange enough, Robbie Williams is a giant arsehole. Like, I mean, I can't imagine anyone's shocked by
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, but like he's actually more than you think he is, which is a bit. He does the entire 4-part series in his underpants on his bed, looking at a laptop. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But there's two things in it. One, he's like what we talked about. He does his whole first album off his head, completely like drunk. There's footage of him just with the bottle of whiskey and then smoking a cigarette and then going, "I'm loving angels" instead, perfectly. You know, just like. And I often wonder, how did he do this? How, like, John Lennon is on heroin during that entire session of Get Back. You see him actually pulling it out of his pocket by mistake. There's footage of that. You know, Dave Navarro off his head and heroin, most of Jane's Addiction. Just recorded 2 of the most greatest pre-grunge albums of all time that influenced Nirvana, and you don't have grunge without all this. It's like, how are they doing this? Like, what is the you know, you look at the Rolling Stones, you know, Keith Richards, Never Going to Die, all this, you know, it's like I have half a glass of wine and I can't function for 4 days. What's going on? Yeah. But he was saying that just come back to the other thing, there was about, you know, we were saying about that it comes down to your own intuition. This is your thing, what you have to follow when it comes to the spiritual path, because you know, anarchy and enlightenment. He wasn't talking about spirituality, he was talking about music. But he was saying he had a great idea for a song. It's Rude Box. It's one of the worst songs ever written ever. But he thought it was brilliant and he was so proud of it. And it was like he had an argument over this, kind of how he broke up with Guy Chambers was over a couple of song choices that he wanted to do. The guy wasn't into at all. And he says, I'm following my intuition. I'm, you know, batting on myself, doing the whole thing. And it flops. It's massive. Everyone hated it. It's not a good song. And then he's going, I've no internal radar anymore. I can't trust myself. I can't trust outside people. I can't do anything.
Because of the drugs, or because he was just in a glass box the whole time for so many years?
Well, many factors. But he was, at this point, I think he's pretty in good mental health of, you know, he's in a good place, a lot of success. But like, I mean, who knows what's really going on? But he genuinely thought this was the way. It's a similar story about Freddie Mercury as well, where he does the solo album. And he comes out and he thinks it's, you know, it's wonderful, whatever. It's the most money he's ever made on music, ever. And he always said that he values, so he knows he's successful when he's making money. That's how he knows when he's doing something right. So this made loads of money, but flopped. You know, because the record company had given him, whatever, 5 million, but no one bought the album, whatever. And he was saying the same. I had no idea who to trust at that point, because I couldn't even trust myself, because what I thought was my inner, the silent knowing, whatever you want to call it, the thing, was directing me in this way. And it was like, no, I can't. But I suppose the thing out of that is that maybe you have to, you're going to be brought intuitively to the fall, to the crush, the thing falling apart. We go, well, even you don't know everything. Even you aren't the best barometer of it. But I don't know what comes after that, because the only thing you can do is a return to surrendering to the divine, which is the mistake you make in the first place, I suppose. That is your
I don't know. I'd have to
not necessarily to divine, but to authority, rather than your inside thoughts, please.
Well, the only thing I'd say is that, okay, so they thought it was going to be a success, and it wasn't, and they're surprised. Well, because they followed their intuition and thought it was going to be. But the thing is that their intuition... And they thought it was
the best work. Or
their intuition is so flawed because they're a mess, basically. You know what I mean? That's a valuable lesson lots of people don't learn. You know what I mean? They follow their intuition. They do what they think they're supposed to do, and it lands on their arse. And instead of learning from it and reassessing their goals and whatnot, they just keep repeating the same kind of mistakes then, don't they?
Yeah, you see that a lot in creativity as well. It's the thing I talked about before, the shiny thing, that if I show up, the world will have my back, or the universe. And having the thing of, like, when I did my comic, I did everything right, I showed up, I did my comic, I done from my heart, put it out in the world. Come on, universe, where's my bag? Where's the thing? And the universe went,
I'm finding that as well, man. How many fucking blogs and websites have I had over the years?
Yeah.
And you'd write for them, you'd put your heart and soul into writing stuff, and then realise, fucking hell, 20, 30 people read this kind of thing. And then since joining Medium and Substack, taken off, like.
Brilliant.
Because these are the
places for that stuff. Yeah.
Like if anyone wants to get into blogging, do not set up a blog or a website. Just join Medium, or join Substack, or join Blogger. Join one of the things that are made for these fucking things. Like, I had fucking 3,000 or 4,000 fucking readers on one article alone last week. That's fucking mind blowing. Do you know what I mean? I've never had. Well, I have for the professional stuff I do.
Yeah.
That I get paid for. Yeah. They who shall not be named. The football stuff, but that gets obviously a lot of views. But my own stuff, no, I would get fuck all, and you end up getting fed up then, because, like, even though you're writing for yourself, you do want a bit of attention, but, like, no, like, get onto the things where you're supposed to be on. Well, that reminds me, I wanted to say to people as well, I've got some spaces available again for counselling sessions, so if anyone wants to get in touch, give us a shout.
Link in the description.
But they're not free anymore. But
nice.
Because you're listeners, I'll give you half price or something. You know what I mean? I'll do you a deal.
Double price.
No, I won't do double price.
The more troubles than most normal people.
No, but no, look, it can be a terrible time of year for a lot of people. Thanksgiving, especially for the Americans, and Christmas coming up, and the dreaded January just around the corner. So if anyone does want to get in touch, hit me up. Yeah,
all the stuff will be in the description, or come over to the Discord or wherever. You're on every. Yeah, you're on everything. You're on Blue Sky now as well. Everyone. It's hard not to.
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on the Wikipedia one. Wikipedia social media is pretty really? Cool.
Is it?
What are they called? Cafe Press.
Oh, right. Is Cafe Press not the thing that used to sell print-on-demand T-shirts? Cafe Press.
That's right. I was thinking it's the same shagging name, isn't it? Let me get the name. Is that what it's called? Is it Cafe? It's not Cafe Press. Trust Cafe. Cafe Press. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Trust Cafe. Yeah. It's a really good one. Because
look, never even heard of
it. The way I do social media is I just put stuff up, and then if people engage, that's cool. But I'm not the type of person that goes engaging with random people. I'm shy. I'm just not that type of person, you know. But no, Trust Cafe is pretty good. You get lots of. There's a lot of like Wikipedia editors and stuff on it who comment on your stuff and things like that. Yeah, it's quite mad.
I think it's an interesting time at the minute because it's all the stuff that you think are the things to do aren't the things to do. Like previous, like I mean, you're finding out what is the thing to do, but like you would think, oh, I'll do a blog. Let's do a blog. I want to, do videos. Let's do YouTube or whatever. No, none of that anymore. YouTube's definitely on the way out. It's like it's like Western civilization. It's not going out today or tomorrow, but it's probably on the decline a wee bit. But it's like you have to find what it is. You can spend all day trying to build up a YouTube, or perhaps your stuff is better suited to TikTok, Twitter, or whatever. And if you're trying to do something like, as you said, like if you were just writing all this stuff on your spudge.net, no one sees it.
No one's seeing it.
It's heartbreaking in the sense of, because when it gets into the right place, you go, oh, someone is interested. Wow,
that's the thing. That's what's mind blowing for me on Substack and Medium. We're like, oh my God, there's tons and tons of people who actually do want to read this stuff, and they are reading it, and it's amazing.
Fair dues. That's great. I'm delighted.
Thanks.
Always
Thanks,
like to hear that stuff. We go for another question. Are we fatigued enough by this question?
No, go on. Yeah.
We'll ask another one for Facebook. Why not? This is a brilliant question. This is from Jason Ponser. If you and Spud entered Thunderdome, who would leave and why?
Wait, what's Thunderdome? Is
Mad Max 3. It's the
you know what?
Two men enter, one man leave.
I haven't seen any Mad Max films.
Oh, really?
No.
Second one
Isn't
is
that
very
mad, isn't it?
It's Mad Max. Yeah, that's mad. The second one's very good. The Road Warrior.
These are the new ones with Tom.
No, the original ones. There's only one new one.
Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy's in it, isn't it?
Yeah. But
the original one is your man, the Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson. There's three original ones, and Thunderdome was the third Mel Gibson one with Tina Turner.
Oh, so I know. It was the Thunderdome was in Rick and Morty, where just two people fight to the death, basically.
Two men enter, one man leave. Yeah.
Oh God, who'd win?
I would say it'd be you try and punch me, I'd try and punch you, and then I'd go, oh, fuck's sake, enough. I need to sit down. And then we just both leave hand in hand up the mountain. And you go, you've very sweaty hand. I don't know, just in Thunderdome. Just in Thunderdome. Tina Turner.
Yeah, I don't like fighting. No. I've been in too many fights over my life.
I've been in plenty of fights.
And too many...
Yeah, plenty of fights, but I didn't start any of them. And it was more being beaten up than fights, to be very fair. Right.
I only had a realisation there not so long ago. I used to be brought along to drug deals as
the tough guy, right?
Yeah. I didn't realise that until like literally last week. I was thinking about your man and what maybe happened to him. And I went, holy shit, hold on now. That's why I was brought to I'm only a little fella, but my problem was I was a goer.
Well, that's it. That's the Fight Club code, isn't it?
Yeah,
let the guys go on forever.
And I kept getting
You're
up.
not that little, anyway. What are you, 5, 6, 5?
Yeah, I'm not, but not like me in a fight. Like I'm no good. But I suppose then again, I was 18, 19. I'd been years on building sites, so I was way broader. But yeah, I realised, holy shit, I was brought in case something kicked off, because I was the psycho that just wouldn't stop.
Oh, that's your autobiography name, The Psycho That Would Never Stop. a journey into enlightenment by Patrick Murphy.
No, because I've been digging into like stuff I was doing in my 20s and just going, God, I was in a bad place with some bad people and done bad things, and just trying to come to terms with them and kind of forgive myself for them,
Yeah.
And I was brought along to stuff and just like, not never happened at these things.
Because if it did, you wouldn't have been asked again. Oh, he was useless. That fella did nothing.
I remember one time I was brought along. We got in the car and he's like, "Right, come on, you come with me." All right, sound yeah. And I thought we'd be going off to get a couple of 9 bars of hash or whatever, shrooms or whatever. Next thing he brings me to like people outside America or outside of Dublin. They kind of like not Oliver Bond, but those type of flats.
Okay, yeah.
How would you explain them to Yanks? Projects.
The projects, that's it.
Projects. Yeah. Somewhere like that, yeah. And I'm brought along to this place. I'm like, oh, what's this? This is where I keep everything. And it was a grow house, and like just you remember square bales? Square bales of hay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There was things that big of Class A drugs, like.
Nice.
And I fucking went, what have I become? Who am I friends with? What the fuck? Oh God!
And how long?
God!
How long was that era of your life? Was it like? Years, months, couple of weeks?
A couple of years, yeah. It would have been 3-4 years, yeah.
Yeah. I'd say similar, not anything to that
dodgy
level,
people.
but similar kind of when I look back going, you know, because you go, this, because I think when I was around that kind of thing, I was 19 or whatever, I go, this must be what life is. This is what happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you realise a couple of years, no, that was
because
just,
the thing is,
like,
you know, like you watch all these kind of drug movies growing up and you think, gangsters, I'd never get involved with them. But like these lads weren't gangsters. They were fucking sound.
Yeah,
they were mates, like they were good lads. And they'd always stand up for you. They'd always, like, if you're a bit short of money, they'd lend it to you and you give it back, obviously, you know, because you might be in trouble. No, I'm messing. No, but they were my mates, like, and they were fucking sound, and they always had your back, and you had their back, and you grew up together, and you were sound, and everyone was sound, and everyone was getting on, and Jesus, we had some fucking great mad nights, kind of stuff. But at the same time, then you realize, this might be a step too far, kind of thing. Oh, crazy shit, man.
At least you've lived and learned. Is that it? Right, let's go to Arthur's question from Discord. How do you both think about Catholicism now? There's a cliche of infant indoctrination. Arthur, it is far from a cliche. It's the truth. Teenage rebellion, abandonment, and then slowly over time, a return. Is this what happens to a great many people who are raised in a religion? Is this what was happening to you or something different? And to what extent does the prominent role the Catholic Church plays in Ireland and Irish history affect your ability to relate with Catholicism on a purely spiritual basis? Oh, this is a brilliant question.
That's a great question.
So many of
There's a lot there.
Like. Yeah. The infant indoctrination, while I was aware of it in my own life or whatever, I am so unbelievably aware of it, given since the wee man went to school, and how, wow, that is. And how blasé.
He has religion in school, does he?
Yeah, even though, well, we had two options. We could pull him out for the 10 minutes, an hour to do, or we could just say he's not doing the religious homework or whatever, or we could just let him make up his own decision, which is what we kind of did. You can do what you want, because who am I to say? Maybe Jesus is.
But problem is, there you're going to get roped into a communion.
Well, he's not baptized, so there's one hurdle he has to go.
Well, you have to get that done as well, then.
Yeah. But it's just like the way it is taught in schools is Jesus, God, Mary, all of these things are the exact same level and presented in exactly the same way as 2 + 2 = 4, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all of these things, as if it's the same thing, the same level, the same truth, the same. And it's very much the Catholic thing. Well, it's a Catholic school. I mean, the other option, we could have sent him a non-domination school, but it turns out it's a bit of a cult. So, I mean, which priority you throw him in? So, but it's amazing from someone who knew nothing about, not that he did, like, I mean, I didn't hide it. And I mean, clearly his dad may have an interest in certain things. But like God, he's always talking about God and Jesus and all these things. I'm trying to say to him, I said, you know who the earliest God was? Or, you know, start talking about Marduk and Ahriman, or, you know, the Greek gods, and just trying to get him, because he's very, you know, God, and his saying prayers, he come home and he's like going, God, I tried to please you. And I go, oh, come here.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
You did not have to please God, my man. So that's the 100% you're indoctrinated, and how early I mightn't even remember some of these things, but that's in me. That's there, you know, and it would probably more forcefully, a bit less relaxed, I suppose. And think if our parents had what they would have got. Jesus Christ. even the way we curse.
Do you know what though? They might have been luckier in one or two ways, in that, like, when they went to church, everything was in Latin. So like when we went to church, and, you know, you zone in and out, you're not listening all the time, but you do pick up bits of it, you know. And because it's the language, you know, you're listening and you're hearing, and it is going in. But when you know, in the 60s, they used to stand with their backs to you. The priest didn't face people, and it was all in Latin, so no one had a fucking clue what was going on. So that would have been grand, because it's like none of us going in your head. Do you know, I'm not learning yet in here. I'm just going because everyone else fucking goes. You know.
But the sermons have been in Latin.
I don't know. Yeah. To be honest, no, I don't know. I don't know that. Could you imagine, like, there was hedge schools when Catholicism was banned in Ireland.
Yeah. Not
And
like,
you'd have to, you'd meet in a field and have mass, and then they'd speak fucking Latin, and like people didn't even speak English then; they spoke Irish, and then they had to traipse through muddy fields to celebrate mass in Latin. It's
couple of years
bizarre.
ago, we stayed at an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere, as you do, and through the forest and there you can go up to the hedge school, the stone that was all set
Right.
from years
There's
ago.
one not too far from me as well, but it's flipped. It's where the Protestants used to go.
Oh right, okay.
Because during the religious wars in Europe, there was a lot of that was going on here.
Right.
Because my town is like half Catholic, half Protestant. It's one of the few places in Poland where there are lots of Protestants. Or evangelicals even. Yeah.
Right. The best kind.
Yeah. The ones that sing at least.
Yeah. Happy clappy. Yeah. Where is this question till I go back? There we are. Yeah, so the kind of idea that you get indoctrinated and then you rebel in your teenage, which I don't like. My experience is that when I was at school, there was an awful lot of people who were definitely very religious and Catholic, or even there was a whole wave of born again going on when I was kind of a teenager.
All right, yeah.
Lots of people, particularly in Dundalk, there was a couple of born again churches, and anyone who was kind of religious in school were part of that more than Catholicism.
The things you'll do for Fanny, huh? That's it. Like a whole lot of horny teenage boys. They see the hot Stephanie that's joined fucking the Brotherhood of New Saints or something. And you're like, oh, I fucking want to go on that. Yeah. I love Jesus.
Yeah, I love Jesus too. Yeah. Oh yeah, Radiohead's my favorite. I remember someone who hated. I was actually thinking about this morning. He hated Radiohead, and one day he was chatting up this girl and me overheard him going, "Oh, I love Radiohead." But it's funny, because when we were going taking the wee man swimming.
But Tommy.
Yeah, sorry.
Think about his question for a second, all right? Because how does that relate to me and you? Because like I know, growing up, I had questions of the church because I'm just like I remember when Virgin Media launched in Ireland and the word virgin was around, and I remember asking my ma, "What does that mean?" And she says, "Oh, it's a woman who hasn't had sex." And I went, "Wait, now, so that means Mary never had sex?" She says, "Yeah." That doesn't make sense, man. How did she have the baby?
Yeah,
well, that's the miracle or something, she said.
Well, also Jesus' brother, so what's that about?
And I was pretty much gone from that point on, But then, so you rebel against it, you grow up. I mean, you remember me. I was a card carrying, full-on fucking atheist there for a long time, but now I'm fucking back again. Not Catholic in a sense, but like, there's definitely the Tao.
Yeah.
My best way of explaining it,
I think mine was like I didn't rebel against spirituality at all. I just knew that Catholicism or Catholic thing wasn't for me. It's like I started getting into Stuart Wilde, Theosophy, all that. I was 12, 13, something like that.
Okay.
So there was a kind of a... But I kind of, in a sense, had to hide that because being religious or spiritual wasn't cool at school. So.
You had fucking friends like me making fun of you.
And it's... So... that was kind of...
I can't believe I used to say shit like that. Do you actually believe in that time? That's a horrible thing to say to someone.
But sure. Look, we're not born perfect.
No.
We'll die not perfect. In between, we have to do our best.
Yeah.
But it's like... Certainly, it seems that people have gone back because I was saying when we bring the wee man swimming, it's crossroads from a church, and we can't get parking at the swimming pool because the car park of the church is so full, and the car park of the swimming pool is full of people going to mass at the minute. Like and then if you go down to town, there's another church that's on like a kind of main street, and the whole thing is thronged with people going to mass. And this isn't for festivals, right? This is your standard 11 o'clock mass on a Sunday. So something happened. I think a lot of it happened during COVID, the pandemic, the lockdown. There seems to be a huge uptake in religion again after that. But I don't know if that is the case or whatever, but it's certainly... I've tried to go back to it, and this is probably answering the end of it. How does it affect my ability to relate with Catholicism? I kind of, when I got into the kind of, like the mysticism stuff, the Richard Rohr or Thomas Keating, who's the other guy that are centering or contemplative mystic, Merton. Haven't read a lot of him, but like kind of all this kind of stuff, and different types of, trying to get into Jesus and, get through the
He's
Gnostics.
lovely. And there's your man that's on the Strange Familiars, Brother Richard. He's such a man. If he was a priest, you'd fucking love him. Like, he'd be great. Except for...
Yeah.
And which is, the last part of Arthur's question, like the prominent role that it plays in Ireland. Like, I mean, for me, I can't forgive the church for what it's done in Ireland. Can't. Like...
I don't think it should. I mean, it's awful. Yeah.
Like, it's horrible. Like,
and they haven't owned up to it anyway. Like, it's kind of...
No, they took our language first. Like, we blame the English for taking the Irish language from us. But it wasn't the English at all. The English, the British, our rulers, they didn't really give a fuck about what language we spoke. It was when education started in Ireland, the schools were given to the church to run, and they wouldn't teach Irish. And all it takes to kill a language is to stop teaching a couple of generations
of it,
the language, and that's it. So there's that, right? So that's our history and our heritage are gone because of them, a massive part of it. And then there's obviously all the disgusting sexual abuse and
babies and killings,
horrors,
all that stuff.
Fucking horrors of it,
nuns' homes and all that. Yeah, there's all that. But even like, so there's that.
That's wait. Let me finish a little bit of a rant here. That's what bothers me about people like, say, Brother Richard and Thomas Merton and these people. It's that, how can you become involved knowing all that stuff? And their answer would be, well, we clean up from the inside. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, that doesn't happen. It's not happening.
Like, I'm going to join the mob and clean it up. No, that doesn't. You're not going to join fucking Putin's whatever party and clean it up. Like, you have to start again.
Yeah, that's
my problem.
I find that, like, how can these people, like, say someone like Richard Rowe, which is probably the person that I investigate the most, and some amazing stuff, and you listen, brilliant, and then you go, but yeah, man, in this context, like, how are you leveling that out?
How are you okay being in the same organisation as these fuckers? Well, there's bad apples everywhere. Yeah, but how come there's so fucking many? And you just don't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's what. I suppose for me, it's a massive letdown, because I would have been, I was a believer, in Catholicism, and then to realize that they're just so fucking evil, like you can't go back to it. But as well, this also brings me back to earlier what I was saying at the very start of the podcast, is this spiritual journey anyway is about finding your own thing. So I don't think that, learn from Jesus. Cool. Yeah, Jesus was amazing. Yeah, learn from him. But you still got to you can follow his path a certain amount of the way, but then you got to branch off and do your own kind of thing anyway,
I think that section of the journey, I think it was probably, people talk about, speaking of Jesus, like going out into the desert on your own for the silence, retreating into silence, or, this kind of thing that you feel a lot of the mystics do, or the spirit would go off and go, enough views and your books and your ideas and your thoughts. And you go off and just, and go, well, what is it? What is it that's going on for me? Or what is, that's like the Ramana or Hashi stuff of, like, what is this? What? What's that? What's that? The inquiry or whatever. And I think that it's seems to be a necessity on the thing. Jesus, like, even apart from the Irish Catholic thing and all of that, there's still, there comes to the point where you go, I'd love to get into this, and then it's the actual teachings themselves that I get annoyed by as well. So it's on a couple of levels. Like, I think everyone who's a Catholic should be forced to read Leviticus. Jesus Christ, what a disgusting book. You know what I mean? And to understand your religion and what you're actually saying you agree with. That's what you're presenting and promoting willy-nilly. Like, it's like when you're because I remember I was talking to the headmaster of the school, and I was saying about my concerns about, because you remember priests used to come in and fucking drill you during these, examinations or the inspection.
Careful with your words there, Tommy.
Okay. I remember when the priests used to come in and lube up. No, sorry. They'd come in and they'd be like inspectors, but they'd be testing all the kids on what they're, what's the 12 apostles? And they'd be angry fucking disgusting.
Yeah, cranky old fucking men. Oh.
And he's going, you must have had some
smell of
bad
whiskey
experience.
off them. Whiskey and fucking their pants are so caked with fucking cum they'll crack.
What's that?
Yeah. How are you, Murphy?
Yeah. And the headmaster's going, like, you must have had some bad experience. I go, how have people not? Like, I mean, have you looked at what this is? You know, like this actually is. There's this kind of a need of, or just kind of a sense with particularly Irish Catholicism, just don't talk about that stuff. No, you should, because that's important. That's part of the fucking thing. Or willful ignorance about not even the things that has done, but the stuff that's in the teachings as well, in the Bible. That's just, anyway. I can feel myself getting angry. We better move on.
Yeah. But it is going to make us angry because it was such a part of our life for a long time. I mean, like I went to mass every weekend, and then usually in school, I think in school it was once per week as well. So you'd go twice a week, and then in secondary school, it was also one day we had one lesson was church.
Right.
So I had to go to mass twice a week until I finally fucking left home. And I've barely been in a church since. Like,
did you do the altar boy stuff or any of that kind of thing?
Yeah, I was an altar boy as well. Yeah.
I
liked being an altar boy though. That was I didn't mind that. I had a nice priest. The priest that I served. Yeah. The lads got caught. I didn't get caught. The lads got caught. Yeah. They got a beating off him. He had a big cane. And
he was a nice priest. He only beat us to once because he drank his wine.
Though. He was just old school. He was getting Parkinson's, so he couldn't remember stuff, which we used to play tricks on him, which was awful. We used to hide his glasses and stuff like that, like move his shoes.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But sure, what age? We were fucking 10, you know what I mean? Like, we didn't know any better.
Right, well, do another question?
Yeah.
If all this is from Abraxas, if all this woo-woo stuff was completely normalized and accepted in society, what do you think the world would look like? Would it be wetter? Would it be wetter? Would it be better or worse off?
Say that again.
If all of this woo-woo stuff was completely normalized and accepted in society, what do you think the world would look like? Would it be better or worse off? I think it would
just be. I think it'd be the same.
To be all of the people who are into it as active rebellion or whatever would just find.
It would just replace whatever churches are here. You know what I mean? You'd have people. You'd have some Ganesha murals around the place, Krishna and stuff like that. I don't think anything would really change with it. See, I don't think. For me, just human nature doesn't change and hasn't changed. We've been humans for what, 200,000-300,000 years or something.
Most.
And the cavemen 250,000 years ago were just as gossipy and bitchy and as sound, and they laughed at fart jokes as much as we do. We haven't changed. Like we haven't changed. Our mental capacities have not changed in 200,000 years. We're exactly the same. So if any sort of change comes like that, we're going to continue to react in a human way to it. It's just how we are. We're fuckers, you know.
I also think the woo-woo stuff is completely normalized in society. I think we present it as if it's not, but on how we act in our day-to-day lives and what we actually do, everyone's woo-woo. I mean, everyone. Even like the staunch atheists or whatever, right? Fine, but.
Yeah, but like how many atheists do you know are superstitious? Probably a lot.
What's your man's, he's the editor of the Skeptic magazine. I can never remember his name.
That guy, Johnny.
Shermer, is that Shermer?
Yeah.
His story about the fact when someone died and the clock stopped and all that, that even he is a woo-woo story,
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's also grown up in Ireland, which is such a woo-woo country, it's ridiculous, but it's all on a different level. You don't, you would talk about it, but it's never mentioned in RTE, or it's not in the newspapers, but it's on the streets. It's on the streets, man. And it's your aunties and it's your uncles and it's all of it. It's just constantly there. I think if it was, rather than it be normalised, if it was just said out loud.
No, like, I mean, I get his question. It's kind of like if everything was more out in the open, I think the answer that you want is that everybody would become more accepting of it, but they wouldn't, because people would still have their, well, I'm a whatever, it's to be the same. I'm a Buddhist, I'm a Hindu, or you're a Hindu, we don't like each other, or you're into Kingsley, I'm into fucking, I don't know, Adyashanti. People would still find rivalries.
And there's people who are going to be contrarian to no matter what it is.
Yeah.
If you say black, I am saying white, whatever it is. That's just the nature of.
I think human nature is human nature. We can't get away from that.
Lyle, have you ever encountered any cryptids? Had any major paranormal experiences? I've had several, but no cryptids.
No, cryptids is, I read that question. I was like, no, cryptids is an American thing only. Don't hear of it.
No, it's not really. Well, the big cats you see in the UK a lot.
In England about big cats, but like, it's not the same as a Bigfoot or a.
I suppose it also though that if any cryptid sightings that would have been in Ireland would have just been, oh, it's the devil. That's it.
Or it would have been fairies or something.
Yeah. If so, do you feel these are related to practical magic? My paranormal experiences, some of them aren't. Some of them have just been things that I think I've witnessed to. And some things don't mean anything. Like that star exploding thing, which I can't explain because it sounds, I can only describe it. If I describe it, it sounds like a firework. It wasn't a firework. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I was completely aware that it was happening just for me. Blah, 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 blah. It didn't mean anything other than the experience of itself. And I wasn't doing something for that. I hadn't done magic to have a sign or anything like that. But it's hard. Where's the bits? Because I was involved in magic, I was involved in spirituality, I was doing meditation, I was doing all this. So where's the? But I also had experiences that got me into it. So I don't know. I think it's yes and no and all of them.
I think there's stuff that like, okay, in my experience, practical magic is basically fucking meditation, or else, I used to do the odd bit of kind of praying, basically angel work kind of stuff, which is just fucking praying by another name, really, But you'd get winks you'd get synchronicities, you get winks from the universe, kind of thing, but like the other day, I was walking around and I had the dog, and it was bitterly cold. It's starting to get wintry here now, and for some reason I was in the fucking height of it, man. How to explain that to people? I was in my head. I was fucking furious. World War II was raging in my head. For some reason, I can't remember. I was just really, really angry. Sorry, I'm getting the story wrong. Twice in the same day, I was walking the dog in the morning, and it just mad angry thoughts in my head over something. My brain was kind of running away with itself, and I was just getting. You were
in the maze, as to say.
Yeah, I was in the maze. Yeah, exactly. And then I kind of said, "Fuck's sake, this is bollocks. What the fuck is wrong with me? Just give us a sign here. What the hell should I be at?" Next thing, this giant bastard of a fucking Irish wolfhound bounded over to me and the dog, and he was amazing. He was like 10 months old. He was a puppy wolfhound,
wow.
but like as tall as me, nearly, And he jumping around the place and he bounding around, and he was deadly. And I got talking to the guy who owns him, and we had a chat. I had to say, I've seen you with a wolfhound before. Is it the same one? He said, no, there's a new one. The other one died, and we got chatting, and it's great to meet a new person, I think. And then that evening I was walking again, and same thing, fucking angry thoughts going on, and I said the same thing again just to see if it would happen again. Next thing I know, this little tiny kind of shih tzu, snowbally kind of dog, just
yin and yang,
runs over and starts fucking playing with my dog, and then this kind of big burly fat man comes out along and says, no, get back here, and she wouldn't. So they were playing, and then I had a little chat with him, and he said, oh wait, no, I got little bits of bacon here. Like, who the fuck walks around with bits of bacon in their pockets, So I was like,
I want to give it to you, not the dog. See what's the bacon.
Sorry, mate, I'm vegetarian. Give that up. I'm a Jew, and so like I have no idea what these kind of mean. It's like, okay, like is the sign that like it's something to do with animals? Is the sign something to do with stop fighting with yourself in the head and like be open to people in the universe and meet people? I have no idea what it was, but like it's kind of a funny story, just that to have these kind of thoughts in your head, fucking fighting with your dad when you were 14 or something, and then like just no way, shush, stop this, let something happen, and then these two things happen with
Almost
animals.
a similar but opposing things. Huge dog, small dog.
yeah. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is mad. I often the same thing with synchronicities. I get them a lot, but I go, what? But what? What's it like? Should I do this or should I be thinking about some situation? What is the outcome? What should I need to know? And this crow comes down and looks at me and gives me the stare, and you know, and then I go, yeah, but what's the answer, man? Right? I acknowledge that you were acknowledging my thing, but what? Oh, it flies away, and it's going like, is that yes or no?
I don't know if that answers Lyle's question, because it's kind of like. I know what the question is getting at, is that if I'm doing this practical magic, whatever you're doing, and then you have experiences with cryptids, like what's that showing you? But like for me, cryptid is kind of a spooky, scary thing that like the universe is saying something isn't right. You need to be afraid, because that's my understanding of like when something spooky or weird happens in like Irish mythology or Irish folk tales. It's that something's not right in your life. You need to fix it, and so they have these weird and scary experiences. Whereas it's that like if you're like the hero in the story, say you're Fionn and you're out the fiend and you're out, fighting the good fight, and then you see a beautiful deer, and you follow the deer and it turns into this gorgeous maiden, and then you have threesomes with her and all her cousins and all this kind of mad stuff or whatever. Like that's like you're in a good place, so you're being rewarded by the universe. So like Lyle, if you're doing magic and you're seeing cryptids, change your magic.
yeah. Until you see the naked goddess who wants the threesomes. That's you're on the right path.
It's not something I think you should go looking for, because if it's popping up, then it's for me. Other opinions, because I don't know much about all this stuff. I wouldn't be fucking with that. Like,
well, it's the same.
I'm with you on the Patrick Harper stuff. I think that these things are the universe looking at you, but it's also a reflection of your inner world and your outer world. So it's like, I would never go looking for a Bigfoot thing. And I think that if you are experiencing Bigfoot, then there's something psychologically you need to be kind of looking at, because it's not good. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing as that when I was fucking around with different things, and then I have the felt presence, the guy that thing coming in and looking at me, and then it goes away or whatever. There's something. I would say that's a direct result of fuck around and find out. You know what I mean? But and it's like, while it was really fucking intense and weird at certain things, it's like it's also there's something in that that I have to work out. What is it? What am I doing? Why is there someone looking at me? Why is there just saying I maybe shouldn't have called up Lucifer or whatever is the thing. But also to face that too as well, that they're like, it's, I think while there is what you're saying, I completely agree with it, but that if you're getting Bigfoot, then look for the goddess, whatever. But also sometimes you have to go, why am I avoiding the Bigfoot? What am I scared of here? It's like that thing. It's, I mean, it's the answer to that question is what does the Bigfoot represent to you? What does the goddess represent to you? What's felt present to you? Because we're experiencing something different. But I've been always just been watching a lot of those videos. If you watch, it's like that thing of if you watch you are more likely to see a UFO if you think about UFOs all the time. You're more likely to engage with that kind of stuff. So by watching loads of Nuke's top 10 videos, you're probably going to have a paranormal experience. Whether that's in your head or not, but it's more likely because it's that you're giving it attention and it's looking back at you. Ostara, what do you both think magic will look like 100 years from now? I think it'll look exactly the same. It'll be the same.
It'd be full of snake oil salesmen.
Unless, of course, the new teaching comes in. The whatever's the post-Christian religion, a new religion comes in, but it'll be the same. It'll have some things that'll be more positive, some things it'll be reflective of where humanity is on its developmental curve. But it'll be, it'll have the same problems, the same brilliant things. There'll
be gurus sprouting new stuff based on old stuff, and then there'll be other people who are saying that no, the old stuff is the best stuff, And then there'll be other people saying, no, there's a golden line or thread that goes through it all, and it's all one thing anyway. And but then, you know, there'll be wars in Kashmir between Hindus and Muslims, Jews and Arabs.
I think the only thing that
Catholics,
might change
Protestants.
something, and I don't think it would change it fundamentally, is that something like a technology like AI or something will reveal something about us that we weren't aware of. Not that the AI itself will go, oh, did you know? It'll be that through the process of looking at something like AI, go, oh, we also do that too, the way we correlate things together, and that's not real. Or so I think there might be some sort of insight that technology will show us. That I'm not sure. It's like that's like predicting the future is like, has anyone ever done it successfully? I don't think so.
No, I mean, no, but it's like the answer to the one I was saying for Abraxas. It's human nature's human nature. I don't think people don't change. It's just we have better technology. That's all that happens over human history. You know, like we don't change. We're the same as we were 100,000, 200,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We're gossipy. We're bitchy, but we're also incredibly helpful and loving and altruistic. We're all these different things, and we always have been, and we always will be.
Yeah.
So I don't see any change, except we'll have cooler, shinier things.
Yeah. And a spirituality and religion that will always tell us to be not human, which is interesting. That seems to be a theme that, you know, that to negate all that you are, and which hopefully we learn better than that. But I think that's part of the shadow too. That's all it too. Right, we have one question left. And then we are out of time. You have to go a quarter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do either of you pray to saints? This is from David Richard Voles. Considering you were raised in Ireland, I have done different times. There's certainly, I light a candle in a church if I'm passing. I enjoy doing that. It's something I tried to get in on Saint Cyprian, and I know I did a novena every year. I've been doing that for 6 or 7 years. I did the pilgrimage to see his relics, all that. But you know, it's in the way that some people I know have a great relationship with saints. I don't personally, but I'm not opposed to it, and I think there's probably great value in it, and people get great reward and comfort and thing in it. But I don't have a patron saint or anything like that. Say you'd be similar, yeah, Spud, or do you have?
Oh no, I have patron saint, all right. Well, I mean, from where I'm from, Saint Fintan.
Yeah, no, I mean by patron saint, I mean, you know, people go, oh, I work with Bridget, or I work with Saint Michael, or yeah.
No, I don't do anything like that. My granny's mad into Saint Martin.
Is that the black fella?
Took the words right out of my mouth. I was saying, how do I say this? Am I allowed to say he's a black person?
I don't know anyone,
but names or something. Yeah, she gets like the monthly magazines. She prays to him a lot. She does the novenas and all that kind of stuff, and she swears by him. No, I can't say I do. I would have done growing up and stuff, because it's kind of like you pick the saint who has a talent, and you're like, right, can you have a word with God? Because I'd like to be good at that thing too.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the saint of music playing or something. It's like, I want to fucking learn how to play guitar. Can I speed this up a little bit? Because I need to get sloppy blowjobs off groupies. Come on.
TT sloppy blowjobs.
And you're like, which saint can I ask for that? I'm like, Saint Sylvia, of course. Jesus, why didn't I know that?
The sloppy blowjob saint. Yeah.
She's not going to like that.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, that's same answer as Tommy. Go for it. If it works for you, find one that works, and if it doesn't, just keep doing until it does, or else don't. I don't know. I don't really have that strong a thought or opinion about saints, other than like it definitely seems to work for quite a lot of people. So just doesn't really seem to work. I haven't got any sloppy groupie blowjobs
from Sylvia. Right. That seems like a fitting place. That we were going to do a TaSTA ritual thing, but we're completely out of time.
Oh, it's far too late. No, we've done nearly an hour and a half.
Yeah. We must do. But it was kind of a last minute thing where we were going to call up the mother. That's Mary, Mother of God, which actually 21st. Would have been, perfectly fitting given the questions that were coming. I was going to ask for the third secret of Fatima.
Maybe go off there, since we finished on a saint thing. Maybe go off there and say a prayer to Holy Mary there today.
Yeah, I had some accoutrement ready to go, so I might just finish it off anyway and do it and see what not in any big way. We should do rituals. It's probably too quick to be calling up black, and that seems to be,
No,
although we maybe could do some other.
We got to get the band.
Else.
We got to get the band back together anyway. We got to get Jason involved with black because he's so good at it.
Robert Alton Wilson he'd be good crack to call up if it's something like that.
To call up,
or someone else
talking with Finnegan's Wake or something.
Oh God, no, because that's hours of him just talking for I have to sit there and go, I love
it. I've not even read Finnegan's Wake, but I love listening to him talk about it.
Have you listened to the Sounds True? Robert Wilson explains everything, where he goes the whole hour and a half about Ulysses. Have you listened to that?
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I have. I know that one. Yeah. It's great.
It's essentially the Bloomsday is the celebration of a hand job.
It is. That's what Bloomsday is. Celebration of a hand job. It's amazing. Bye. Bye.